Hello there, Tom Jeffries from HowStreet.com Media. Welcome to our video channel here today. HowStreet.com is a site for market opinion, and joining us now, a gentleman that does every Monday, talking about opinions and more, best-selling author, the Honorable Garth Turner. Garth, welcome to Vancouver.
Thank you, Tom. Pleasure to be with you.
Everything, it seems, we turn on the radio, we come over to Howe Street, it seems like bad news, a lot of the news. Give us some opportunity. Where's the hope right now?
Actually, there's a lot of hope. We've been through a big storm. Actually, we're still in it. It'll carry on for some period of time yet. We're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination, but there is opportunity, and there are some signs of hope. For example, in February, new construction in the U.S. went up by 22%. That was a big deal. In Canada, we've got our major banks who are offered bailout money. They said, we don't think we need it. That was a good deal. And retail sales in Canada actually have gone up. And that was a surprise, but also pretty good. And we're seeing a little bit of signs of inflation. Those are some indications that there is some money flowing back into the system. The credit markets are starting to work. So that's good. Bigger picture, I think there's no doubt in the world that we are going to see a return to a bit of an inflationary environment after this deflation, which is going to last another year. Then we're going to see inflation. We're also going to see the bottom hit for the Great Recession. And that's probably going to come within the next few months, and financial markets are looking to that. So as we get out of it, you know what I think is going to lead is going to be energy. Oil prices have come down by 75%. It's been a disaster for the oil patch. It's been a disaster for integrated oil companies. But now we've seen this merger of Petrocan and Suncor. They did it for a reason, and that is assets are cheap, they're worth buying. So I think going forward, anyone investing in energy companies is going to do well. Number two, the banks. There is no way that any bank in the Western world is going to allow, any government in the Western world is going to allow another major bank to fail. So I think banks are ironclad right now. And I would invest in the banking, the financial sector. I think it's going to lead us out. And beyond that, probably consumer spending. You can't go wrong with Walmart, okay? And there are going to be, as people get more recession weary, everyone's sitting on cash now. They will start to spend a bit more. I think those sectors are going to lead us forward.
Canada walled off our banking sector, said no way we can lump into 2 or 3 big banks. In hindsight, do you think that was a good move?
No, probably not. I think
Why
that
so?
there is an inevitable momentum for bank mergers. Although we have far fewer banks than in the U.S., we have far fewer problems. And I think that there was momentum certainly to have a couple of the major banks get married, maybe even 4. I wouldn't be surprised if that actually happens down the road, but not with our current government. They're philosophically opposed to doing it, so I don't think it'll happen now. But coming out of this, one of the lessons we learn is, besides governments didn't regulate enough and let capitalism run amok, secondly, there is nothing more pivotal to the whole wealth of the society than the banking sector. Love these guys or hate them and their cheesy bonuses, but nonetheless, we need them.
We've got the HowStreet.com Money Expo coming April 19th in Langley, British Columbia. Again, May 2nd in beautiful Kelowna and the Okanagan. You can sign up for free at HowStreet.com. And so to that end, you're one of our featured guests. What are you going to be talking about this time?
How not to invest in Kelowna, sadly.
Okay, fine.
The real estate market in Kelowna is one of those examples of a market that has got a lot further to go down. There's only old baby boomers like us who want to move there.
Who? Old baby boomer?
We got no money.
Yeah.
So no, it's a market that doesn't have a lot of sort of synergy in its own local economy. It depends on a lot of money moving in, and in this environment, it's not happening. So that's an example of an overpriced market that's going to go down. So I think there's some trouble there. Other than that, it's a lovely place.
Okay, one other question. One of your new websites, I think it's 6 or 8 weeks old, called Exurbia. Tell us a little bit about exurbia.ca.
Well, one of my concerns is that in our society today, we're all too dependent. We're too dependent on government. We're too dependent on being wired. Nobody has a horse or a garden anymore. So I'm concerned that, as society gets a little more challenged, governments will have less money to look after us all. I see more power outages in the future. I see people needing to look after themselves and their families much more proactively. And where are the tools for that? In my own life, I had a lot of trouble finding a generator for my home, finding the kind of things I thought I would need to put into a bad day box in case I needed that. Had trouble because I believe in renewable and alternative energy, and I couldn't find a cost-effective way to generate my own power. So I thought, I'm going to make my quest into a business, because I think there are other people who probably have the same sort of desire to do these things. So I've become a dealer for a lot of different companies, put them together, and tried to make a Canadian supermarket, because up to date, no one's really tried it.
It's a really good website, exerbia.ca. One question I've never had the chance to ask: what was the best thing about being a member of Parliament? If there was something good about being a member of Parliament.
Oh my God. I think it's the ability to do what I tried to do, but what the system didn't allow. Being a member of Parliament, if you want, is a very flexible sort of job. And what I try to do is use the digital technology to try and bring more people onto the floor of the House of Commons. And one of my best moments was sitting there with my BlackBerry, and I had asked people across the country to vote on whether Quebec should be declared an independent nation, which Parliament did. And I asked people on the website, said, vote and tell me. I'm on the floor of the House of Commons. I want to know what you think. And I got all these results, and I took my BlackBerry and I passed it down to the leader of my party, and across one row and down the other, and I watched that BlackBerry go through the House of Commons. It didn't make any difference to the vote, folks, but they felt guilty as hell.
Garth Turner, it's always good to see you and get some your astute advice here on Howe Street. We look forward to your weekly visit on HoweStreet.com. And once again, Mr. Turner is one of the headline speakers, the HoweStreet.com Money Expo. That's coming up April 19th in Langley, British Columbia. That's the Fraser Valley for the uninitiated. And up in beautiful Okanagan in Kelowna, overpriced Kelowna. That's May 2nd. You can sign up free on our webpage here at HoweStreet.com. On behalf of Mr. Turner, this is Tom Jeffries on the HoweStreet.com video channel. Thanks for your time. We'll see you soon.
Comments made on Howe Street Video and HoweStreet.com are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any matter whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Available online at HoweStreet.com. Howe Street Video is a production of Howe Street Media Incorporated.